there ever going to be a version of this theme that doesn't clip horribly? I miss Dennis. I'm still working on that painting of Dennis, by the way. Our, Suezo from Monster Rancher. We all love our Suezo. I'm a Suezo girl, living in a Suezo world. Hey, what's up, Ducky? What's good? It is time for my mandatory Hitman time. Not actually playing with the bad translation mod because I can't handle that level of brain melting. Currently just wanting to make progress on this. We have a Hitman event until the 8th. I'm trying to see which campaign I have the least amount of progress on. I am the Hitman. Oh yeah, I did install a mod that didn't work out very well. And by that I mean I tried to turn Agent 47 into a skeleton, but the skeleton part seems to have merged with his flesh form. And the bones are sticking out, basically. Time for some assassination. You know it. What is up? What is up? Give me just a moment. Let me put this back on. Pretty proud of that visual. I have to remove one mod so that literal bones don't stick out of Agent 47's skull as we try to concentrate on the tasks at hand. So let me just open up a simple mod framework here. Is that the worst thing? It's not the worst thing. It's more like... Oh, wait. Wait. Skeleton 47 only as the signature suit. There we go. Okay, I think I had to... Maybe I had to hit this additional option. Because it said I had it disabled. Even though the mod was enabled, there was still a setting to enable it. Is that the worst thing? We don't know. Let's see. Okay, I guess I'll click apply.
Skeleton.
Okay.
Skeleton. In your house.
Oh, I love that text to speech. All right, it's patching. Sorry, I kind of forgot that you know, actual chunks of bone were sticking out of our bald boy. Out of our bald boy. But I'm very glad to get to play some Hitman. What is this? Optimize your skeleton patch. This should improve the speed of deployment. Okay. Guys, we're gonna have a really fast skeleton. Potential issues in deployment. We're just gonna let's just fucking go for it. I don't have that many hours in World of Assassination, but I guess I can account for that given that this game was like a bunch of games before it was this game. It's kind of confusing if you aren't familiar with the timeline since what, 2016? That's when they started the new like volumes, right?
I reckon.
Yeah, my mandatory Hitman time is basically every night now until the 8th. Because I want people to be able to get their exclusive items. Yeah, let's go to Whittleton Creek. Let's see if the mod worked. Hitman 2016, weird. I've played this map a lot on Freelancer. But once again, not often otherwise. It's so nice having things be their actual name this time. The translation mod was a lot. I don't know if y'all were there last stream, but I had a mod that replaced basically all the text in the game with. It ran it through Google Translate like 7 times and then spat it back out into what I'll call destroyed English. Is what I'll refer to that to as. All targets with 1 shot from the treehouse in the Schmidt garden. Poisonous food. I think we can make poison while we're here. Poison drink. So basically, we just kind of fuck around and find out. I'm gonna bring some poison instead of, our fiber wire. I want to keep it lethal. Yeah, put it by the bench. That seems accessible. Recall last stream that the bad translation mod led to the sniper rifles category being labeled "He will shoot the children," which is great. I am willing to turn that mod back on at some point, though. It seems fun.
Whittleton Creek, Vermont. On the surface, a picture-perfect suburban dream. Wide roads, golden maple trees, and verdant lawns. Most residents here are white-collar professionals, ranging from university staff to government employees.
Most, but not all. Janus's unpresuming home is protected by a host of bodyguards. And intel shows that the fragile former constant.
Fun to start with it and see how long it takes for people to notice. Yeah.
Cassidy, on the other hand, roams the neighborhood streets.
I tell you what.
A recent arrival.
I remember it taking a bit to apply.
Herald is busy making
so I might not do it right now. Or maybe I should do it right now before more people notice that I'm online.
This is about more than just revenge.
You think we should do it?
Is the key to bring down.
I don't know. I think I need some time to get used to it, and after a while, it'll be second nature that think. Holy fuck. I'm a motherfucking skeleton.
47. I've marked your map with several points of interest. We're running this mission with very little upfront
Dude,
intel,
skeleton mod
but these
plus bad
locations could
translation.
provide clues to help you obtain the information we need.
Come on, we gotta go for it. Let's just go for it. I gotta listen to my impulses sometimes. Alright? We're just gonna go for it. Maybe it won't take as long as last time. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. Poorly translated. We're going for it. Fuck. Yeah. I'm very intense. Very intense like this. I also have a chaos mod I could turn on. Not turning that on yet. I have a dramatic aiming mod, which I'm not gonna really explain what that does any further than that. And I have some stuff to mess with the AI, but I'm trying to actually play the game, so I don't want to mess with the AI. So, I mean, other than you know, tossing coins everywhere. Installing Intel CPU demo. I don't think I need that. I also don't have an Intel CPU. I guess Intel came up with the architecture. But really, it was just like that one dude, right? That one dude. Somebody gave me a sub to fucking Jabroni Mike. And I've been enjoying his emotes a lot. Let's see, we got Rouge the Bat drinking lemonade. We got the literally 1984. That was pretty good. He has one that is my boy Dennis from our Monster Rancher 2 streams. My Suezo Dennis. With a troll face, which is wonderful. Let's see. I appreciate these. I appreciate these. They're very useful. Especially the 3D rotating Peter Griffins. Those make me especially really happy. Look at him go. He moves so gracefully. He's fucking rotating, my guy. I wish I could rotate as good as him. It's still localizing text. I think it'll be worth it. I mean, the sniper rifle category alone, just being he will shoot the children.
Mike Payne, 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 Mike Payne.
All right.
Shoot, I'd like to make some explode.
We're making new words tonight. This is how new languages are made.
Shoot, I'd like to make some explode. My can't fight my epilepsy.
God damn. I need to try to make another custom TTS voice at some point. At some point. Not now. My friend posted in our Discord, Police officer just tried to come up to the counter at work and say good food or whatever, and I cut him off. I cut him off and said, "Sorry, bro, I'm not interested," and he left so confused. Oh my god. I did it with a polite tone of voice just to like throw him off. Jesus Christ. I'm friends with some really interesting people. Like the cop was hitting on him. I'm spreading my link around like some shitty virus. And I'm just putting the word help next to it as well. I think I'll use this time to hit a fat dab. But could I have some form of visual entertainment? Oh, here we go. Entertainment. Here, think about this for a little bit. I'm gonna go grab a drink. Can't look at it because the watch pot never boils. We need to find some sort of game I could play whenever we're busy localizing text. Got some good work done on the highlights today, though. So at least that's helpful. And our most loyal chatter, oh no, I joshed. Thankfully, graciously, very graciously, graciously, took a lot of clips and got a lot of highlights. Over like the past, basically all the streams. Very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. Oh, satisfying slime. No videos, no talking, no music. Yeah, chat, we have sensory videos as well. This will be good. Let's get that on there. Window capture. Repeat forever. Have a little slime. Little slime over there. Slime crunch. Okay, so that's good. It's still localizing, so we're adding another window. Oh, it overwrote the last window. Well. Okay.
Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up. Pimpy sun up. Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up. Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up.
Beautiful.
It's called irony, Mom. I'm not actually gay.
Riverside Kennels. Blood Skull.
Pimpy sun up.
Blood Skull. Blood Skull.
Hashtag Blood Skull did his thing.
Blood skull.
14 times Grinch, 8 times Seuss.
Grinch.
Pimpy sun up.
14 times Grinch, 8 times Seuss.
Grinch.
Grinch.
Wee Wee X Daisy.
Grinch.
Goon XCD.
Oh, it's almost done. It's almost done.
Goon.
Travis Scott. Lock into a stud now.
Fortnite.
What the fuck? Holy shit, dude, what's the matter? What happened? What's going on?
I need this video of all these Fortnite smile. I need this video of all these like horrible dogs to be like I can't fucking think while this is playing at all. I need this to be like hours long. I need to fund this person who makes these sound oriented. Fortnite.
Oh my god, Pimpy.
Pimpy.
You're back.
I swear that's the same voice, but they added some sort of like some sort of weird something to it. Pimpy, you're back. All right, let me load up the game. Oh yeah, you're gonna love my model. You're gonna love my model, Sam. Loading it up. I got a lot of window captures going and the windows don't exist anymore, so I'm getting a little nervous. Hold on. Things I don't like doing in OBS. That. All right. Press OK to play the game. Chat, where's the OK button on your keyboard? Yeah, Hitting On Man. We're playing Hitting On Man. World of Boy Kissing. The game seems a little quiet. Differences, sound. A dialogue. Let's see, main effect. Main effect at 19. We'll have sheep. Maybe like 11. Output mode will have stereotypes. State. Hitman 4. See, we were going to Whiten Cove in the United States of America. Right? Golf ball pop going on. I'm looking forward to it. Let me have to be able to see my audio. Guns for kids. Hide it in your wallet. Okay. By the way, I don't know when my chat box text turned to like a serifed font. Don't know when that happened.
Creek, Vermont. On the surface, a picture-perfect suburban dream. Wide roads, golden maple trees, and
Been that
verdant
way
lawns.
for ages.
Most
Well,
residents here
whatever.
are white-collar
I thought it was
professionals,
intentional.
ranging
I don't
from
know.
university
Maybe it
staff
was at one
to
point.
government employees.
Most, but not all. Janus's unpresuming home is protected by a host of bodyguards, and intel shows that the fragile former constant rarely leaves the property.
Nolan Cassidy, on the other hand, roams the neighborhood streets. A recent arrival, the dutiful Providence Herald is busy making threat assessments and settling in with his security team.
Now remember, this is about more than just revenge. Janus is the key to bring down Providence.
Barbecue King.
So get in there and find us a lead.
Good luck, 47.
Where am I? Oh, there I am. Another life.
47.
Beautiful day.
I've marked your map with several points of interest. We're running
Skeleton.
this mission with very little upfront intel, but these locations could provide clues to help you obtain the information we need. Good luck.
I feel like the game is a little quiet. I'm gonna check on my Windows mixer settings. Okay. Let's turn down a little bit. Skeleton, yo. That was my bone falling over.
Oh, hello there. I'm Charles Blake, chairman of the Homeowners Association. I'm running for a seat in the next election.
Charles Blake III appreciates your support. Excuse me, sir. Are you a registered voter? I'd love to tell you about a new candidate who might just change your life. Yes, sir. A total game changer.
I'm listening.
Wonderful. Oh, well, I'm sure you're aware that voting season is upon us again. And if you're anything like me, a recent immigrant to this fine country, the candidates this time around just aren't very, savory. But we have a man here today who's about to change all that.
I don't care much for politics.
That is exactly why Blake is out ringing doorbells today. Sorry, man, but you're just making me feel a little uncomfortable now. Okay? That is exactly why Blake is out ringing doorbells today. He has no stakes in Washington. No connections to the establishment. No.
That dude's KGB or CIA.
Groups that pull the strings around
That dude's Stasi, guys.
He's just a common man who decided that he wouldn't take it anymore.
Is that him right there?
He's here to clean up, to give you exactly what you want, and to make sure the government doesn't
skin and
stick its
organs
nose into everything.
Fascinating. How is he going to achieve all that?
By imposing restrictions and pushing crippling laws that will bind legislators to their desks for decades. His approach is simple. Give every one of those Washington-based desk jockeys so much work they simply won't have time to enforce the existing laws.
That's called paper terrorism.
Then, while they're busy,
there's a name for
looking
that.
through
It's called
their fat
paper
law books,
terrorism.
Use his executive powers to undo the existing laws. It's a radical approach, sure, but quite effective.
And this Blake character, he's out here now, ringing doorbells?
Sure is. Why'd you ask?
No reason.
Good on you. Be sure to vote come election day. And feel free to spread the word about Charles Blake III. Here's your chance to change the world. What?
We were all thinking it, you know? We were all thinking it.
Put your hands up.
Oh, clean up after your dog? I don't have hands.
This is a direct order.
Bro, I just got phalange bones. Get fucked. Who gives a dang? Oh, I can't ride these? Bro, they're really inaccurate. Why can I not take damage, y'all? Is that part of the fucking skeleton mod? You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. I legit did not mean for it to make me invincible, but I guess maybe Skeleton 47's invincible? Cause you're dead. I mean, good point. Good point. Point taken. I guess these guys really got a bone to pick with me, huh? No, Flash was too hot for that one. Dang it. I was trying to get a creepy skeleton pick.
Give him all you got.
Yeah, beat me up. I'm just failing every single prompt. They must be freaking out. Dude, yeah, the skeleton came to life. I started the message again. Do you want to reconfigure the work? Okay. I'd be freaking out too. Goddamn. Skeleton?
Whittleton Creek.
Whittleton Creek. Alright, we gotta test something. Sir, I'm sorry I gotta do this. Kill me. Bro, I swear nothing in that description said something about being immune to bullets, but that's hilarious. I am going to disable the skeleton mod now, though, because I want to be able to... I'm getting, like... I'm getting challenges done, and they can't do damage to me, and that's not... You know what I mean. So, give me just a moment. Dead air time. Complete dead air time. It's at 4. I said... Why is it not? You must capture the audio, OBS.
Pimpy sun up.
There it goes.
Pimpy sun up. Pimpy sun up.
Sag, the skeleton is invulnerable.
Pimpy sun
I didn't know that.
Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up.
It's called irony, Mom. I'm not actually gay.
Riverside Kennels. Blood Skull.
Blood Skull.
Blood skull.
Blood Skull.
Blood Skull.
Hashtag Blood Skull did his thing.
Blood skull.
14 times Grinch, 8 times Seuss.
Grinch.
Blood Skull.
Grinch.
14 times Grinch, 8 times Seuss.
Grinch.
4 times Grinch, 2 times Valor.
1 times Angry Bird.
Angry bird.
Chigusa Fortnite.
T-Rex is Pimpy's best son.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Gold Country Bullies. Pimpy son up.
Up is Pimpy's best son. Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy son up on fire. Watch out, Pimpy son up.
Pimpy sun up on fire. Watch out, Pimpy sun up.
Pimpy sun up on fire. Watch out, Pimpy sun up.
Check out this new stud dope boy produced.
Smashed and slammed. Wide ass head.
Or ex-blueberry yum yum.
Num 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 num.
Mount Bullmore.
Interstate Bullies Babe.
TBC's Mr. Miyagi.
You're the best around.
You're the best around. Chat, should we adopt one of these for like a stream pet? We could add Dome and Bone to our program.
No. Champion stud tank. Dead. Bye-bye. Tank.
Like that's the Adam voice.
3 hour is about
And that's the tired voice.
Pretty Tony. Pretty Tony, one of Kobe's best sons. This boy is from another planet. He's throwing straight fire in every litter. He is CEC's brother, the Kobe son I sold to China. He carries Tri and has a giant 23.5-inch head. If you are looking to add Dome and Bone to your program,
Dome and Bone to your program.
he's compact.
I think
just
about
like
that
his
so
dad
fucking
and
much.
a force to be reckoned with. Tap
Dude,
in
you want to
for
add Dome and Bone
details.
to your fucking program?
I'm
like,
not
what?
reading those stupid fucking hashtags.
Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the 10 times Mr. Miyagi. Clone twice to perfection. The bully
Fucking
lines.
signal.
Red round. Red round.
Gum Gum Punch. Red round.
Sorry.
Holy shit! Red Rum clones about to take over Smash Bros.
Red rum smash. Haha, Wi-Fi lost. Fuck you, Wi-Fi.
Chumley in the building. Whoa.
Hey, Chumley. How much would you
It's
give
localizing
for this
text
headache,
again,
stud?
so get comfy.
$20? Kill yourself. Fuck you.
Kill yourself.
Pimpy son op has room.
He shoots. He scores.
Pimpy son op is owning
You
the
know,
Predators tonight.
Living legend Pimpy looking like a silverback.
I think we could use a stream
Pimpy not
pad.
like that. Pimpy, get away from him, Pimpy.
You know, this shot looks so familiar. Yeah, I can't put my
Oh,
finger
that
on it.
Bitcoin too. Listen to me, Pimp.
This is glorious. Y'all thought I had a watermelon instead, but I got a team of
Mount Bullmore.
Welcome to Mount Bullmore.
Hottest tourist attraction in Congo Bongo.
What effect on history do you think it would have if
lines bullseye.
if this
Critical
replaced the U.S. Constitution?
Bullseye is doing a Fallout for Let's Play. What the fuck is this? Kill his ass, Bullseye. Fuck it. Use VATS. There we go! Haha, fuck you, Wi-Fi! Rot in hell!
Guys, what if it's not the skeleton making me invincible? What if it's something else and it ends up to... Oh, dude, that would be horrible.
His sperm's so perfect, they call it Dax Line. Oh no! Dax Line factory getting ran over by elephants. Millions of dollars of Dax sperm lost.
Okay, it's done. I think about this video more than I do probably some family members. Sorry to say. Sad but true. Sad but true. Stream, quote unquote, starting soon. Hitman is an artwork design and developed by a multidisciplinary team. To be rich in Hitman playthrough, you have to be online. Okay. I hope I can get shot and die on this mission. I hope that was just a part of the skeleton joke. Please? Please tell me. Please tell me. Pimpy son up. Pimpy son up. Pimpy son up. Like, that had to be a part of the skeleton, like, roleplay. Like, oh, the bullets don't work against the skeleton. You have to, like, dismantle him. Or something. I don't know. Excuse me, sir.
Don't let him take control of the situation.
Yay! It was skeleton RP. Ow. Ow. I started the message again. Reconfigure the work. Let us reconfigure.
Whittleton Creek, Vermont. On the surface, a picture-perfect suburban dream. Wide roads, golden maple trees, and verdant lawns. Most residents here are white-collar professionals, ranging from university staff to government employees.
Most, but not all. Janus
says that dude's name is Ashen. Pimpy Son Op, the TTS mascot. Oh, like for our TTS? I see what you... Oh, like how you have your cat. As yours. Right. Pick up to drink from the can. That's a fucking lie. But I'll pick it up anyways. I'm gonna take a look at the map. Levinsky Wealth. Wilson's close associate. Safe place. Cassidy bad. Network is protected. Interesting. So they said I can get up in a treehouse and just pop them? Could that be true? Is that true?
I swear I have a license for it.
Guys, we're downloading the business history now.
Bring it with you. You can't just confiscate my property.
Oh yeah, we were gonna like see if people notice. I'm gonna stop mentioning it, like verbally. Just gonna play like normal. Starting now. I'm ready to talk regular.
Pimpy son up.
Infectious video. Truly. I see the treehouse. No, 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 no. You didn't see nothing, bro. You didn't see anything. Don't even worry about it. Get in there fast. What the fuck? Yo, this room's cool. Yo, it's like a band room. I found a key, too. No skateboarding. Include vocal system. Oh, shit. E for everyone. E to everyone. Sorry, do not mother enter. Huh? That don't make no sense. Yeah, this song's sick though, dude. Come on, dude, it's one button. Nice, nice. I become you.
That's not an ordinary resident of Whittleton Creek, 47. This must be one of Cassidy's men working undercover. I suggest you keep an eye out for more of them.
Uh-huh. Okay. If you think so. The fact that the lockpick's just called I'm looking forward to it. It's really good. Of course. The duck rules the tunnel. I gotta quit. Just act casual. I'm pretty sure a couple of these outfits looked exactly the same, but I'm not complaining. That's the evidence thingy. So I'm gonna shoot it. Easy. Easy. Comunismos. Ah. What the hell? Comunismos. Pick up a lot. Comunismos. What's that? What's that? Is Mother of God. Comunismos. Comunismos. Kami mimosa. Communist. Ooh. Oh, man. Should really cap that ink. I'm just saying, like, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm one of you. It's cool. Where's the tree house again? Where did I end up? I thought I saw a tree. Oh, it's over here. Just, I can only go through that way. No? Yes? Okay. Just making sure I hadn't discovered that is all.
Yeah. So the other day. I'm really impressed by all the wonderful things you
Oh. So I gotta actually take this out of the backpack. Put on my back. Climb up the window. Hide. It says I can eliminate them both in one shot somehow. And I wonder, you know, how would you do such a thing? Some sort of Rube Goldberg bullshit? I'm really not sure. Sources of medicine and food. True. Bread law. Yeah, bread law. Use the sniper rifle at the Schmidt-Woody house to inspect the targets together. Where's the Schmidt-Woody house? I guess it's this one.
have a role or for whatever it is that sort of thing uses. I'm sure he'd be just fine.
Do I have to be inside of the house? What are they talking about? What are they talking about? I think they're being a little crazy. I say we go inside that building right there. See what's up. Toss my shit up on the roof. Climb up this pole. Grab the briefcase, get in the thing. Now look at the, I'm gonna look at the challenge again. What is he? Okay, okay. Oh, I see. Check this out, check this out. Pull that down. I grab this guy. I go up the thing. Is this how I do these things? No. This is not how we do these things. I thought I was being clever. I was not. That's okay. Okay, not here either. It looks like I can get out there though. But how? Yeah, some of these challenges seem to be a little confusingly worded. They want me up on this roof pointing the sniper rifle at people? I can do that. Use a sniper rifle at the Schmidt Woody house to inspect all the targets together. What? Confusing. Let's do Breadlaw. Oh yeah, I threw my suitcase up there. Call of the Mind. Story mission went wrong. Damn. Okay. I don't feel like we got much of a shot at that. Oh, we are noticed. Let's reconfigure our work. Another life.
Have a fly. Charles Blake III appreciates your support.
I guess we'll go towards recommendations since it's recommended.
You've probably heard about Charles Blake III before. He's the chairman of the Homer Association. Blake, see that guy who tried to ban syrup while he was? That doesn't sound like him. If he did, I'm sure there was a
Cool.
very good
They ain't hear shit.
Anyway, no, good work on the undercover agent, Spencer. We managed to blend in very nicely.
Thank you, sir. Gone entirely native. Be hard pressed to
Now I read. Not only did he try to get the package to safety. Go, go.
I shot their evidence. Now they won't remember shit. Dude, target on fucking lockdown, bro.
That is Nolan Cassidy, former Secret Service agent and current Providence Herald. Cassidy is assigned to
There you go.
protect Janus.
Hey, what's up, guys? We going for a jog? Hey, it's heart health.
The suit.
I'm
sorry.
It's heart health month. It's heart health month.
You can't be here, sir. I have to tell you. Hey, you! Stop! These are the best muffins I ever had.
You'll never know.
Dig in. Don't move.
Hey, buddy.
Eat
Shit.
this!
We've been compromised. We are the shield. Oh no.
Hey, at least I punched him. All right, let's be a little bit more careful. Another life. Okay, this time it recommends we go over here. Hey, there's a party over here.
All kinds of ancient memorabilia. He might have a roll or tape or
Snooze
whatever it is that
fest.
sort of thing uses. I'm sure he'd be delighted to lend you something.
That's very good
Back
to
in
know.
the day,
Thank you.
Janus was known for his obsessive need to archive and keep memorabilia. If he has any microfilm in his house, it might contain something interesting.
I mean, obsessive need. I think it's just, you know, just due diligence. I think it's just a good thing to do, you know. Nice painting. Ah, my bones. There's nobody down here. It's boring. Have I done this mission before? No, I haven't. I want to do Breadlaw. What's up with Breadlaw? Who is Breadlaw?
Less rustic than this. Hey, I'm Ryan.
I must know. Don't worry about me.
Huh?
Oh, no, 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 no. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. I'm just looking for Breadlaw. Have you seen him?
Hey, did you drop off the surveillance tapes on Janus at the house? Cassidy was asking for them earlier.
Yeah, added them to the file. Bring the tapes over to HQ.
I'm gonna yoink this dude's fucking sploink.
Perfectly capable of playing the tapes as well. Want to just keep them here?
What, and risk the owners of this house suddenly coming home? It's less than ideal, but it's better if
Christ's sake!
in our own house.
Yeah, well...
Oh my god, dude, they didn't notice, dude. Oh, they noticed, dude. Yeah, this mission's a little tight. A little tight on this mission.
Whittled.
Alright. Breadlaw, I want you. Where are you? Breadlaw! Mr. Breadlaw. Oh, Breadlaw.
Dale Anderson, the mailman. Got anything good with you today?
I'm sad to say it's just another
What's he
package
calling that
for
dude?
James
What's he
Batty.
calling?
Not sure what's in it, to be
Breadlaw?
honest. Feels like there's something alive
Weird
in there.
name.
But U.S. postal regulations clearly state that nothing living is permitted to be shipped via our services.
He's a strange one, that James Batty. Is he still trying to sue Janice?
Oh, yes. That's exactly why I'm dreading the delivery of this package. He keeps talking my ears off and shows me all these legal documents like I'm supposed to understand what they mean. Say, would you deliver this for me? I can make you a postal deputy.
No, sorry, Dale. I'm late for my yoga training.
Damn,
Maybe
Dale.
some other day.
Oh, sure, okay. I mean, I'm late already, so I guess it's fine. I'm sure the missus will understand.
Damn. Poor Breadlaw. Program, why?
Do you need some help?
You know what, friend? I could indeed use some help. It's very kind of you to ask. People in this neighborhood are just so friendly. That's what I really love about this place.
No problem. What do you need?
Well, I'm running awfully late today. Chatty people in this neighborhood, you know? Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I've got this package for James Batty in number 432. Would you be able to deliver it to him? I wouldn't normally just hand over a package like that, but you look very trustworthy.
I could do that. House number 432?
Yes, big house at the bend in the road. It's undergoing fumigation at the moment, so you can't miss it. Just leave it in the mailbox and ring his doorbell, and he'll come get it. He lives in his shed in the backyard, so it might take a few moments for him to show up.
Consider it done.
Thank you again. This place is just amazing. Helen, what?
He had more to say? Bro, shut the fuck up. Like, sorry. But, yeah. I got shit to do. What? That's life. What? I got shit I gotta do.
Hola, compadre, it's me. Yes, I still have it.
Call the mind and invite it to your mailbox. Ding ding.
No, I didn't keep him to upgrade. Our expensive chemicals are deadly. You know I won't use chemical weapons on innocent defenseless animals. Well, you do things your way, I do things my way. Good. Talk to you later. Bye. Hello. This is Jose Alvarez. I am just calling to let you know that I received your suggestions for the new logo, and I really like number 3. Yeah, the one with the cockroach. But can you make it look more like peaceful instead of suffocating? Thank you. Looking forward to it. Bye.
Bye.
This is Nolan Cassidy of Whittleton Creek. I want to speak to the man in charge.
You're good.
That's you? Very well. Listen, you people completed your work on my house last week, but there's still all your machinery cluttering up my garden. I talked to your man here, but he claims he needs to be done with my neighbor's house before he can remove the hookup to my house. Surely that's some sort of joke. Really? I don't much care about you.
Is this correct? Is it?
I've got a security hazard here. I demand you remove it.
Was that the right
immediately,
mailbox?
or my lawyers will strip mine your little business so fast you'll be.
What did that post-it note say? I'm in the park. If you need me, ring the
On
bell.
the street in your underwear, wondering what the hell happened.
What's this guy talking about?
Make sure you do.
Damn, he's pissed.
Hey, honey, it's me. It's going okay. I just really miss you and the princess. It's just... It's always the same. People think I'm crazy just because I care about the lives of insects. You know how I feel about that. If I go into another line of work, somebody else will take my place. This is where I can make a real difference. You don't think I'm crazy, right? I love you too, honey. Bye.
Aww. Poor guy. I don't think you're crazy, Bug Swat man.
Hey, True Dog. I'm Johnny Silverhand. Got any gigs for a merc like me? I only do special missions. I call them Silverhand jobs. I love
Nice.
Silverhand jobs.
Yeah, I could maybe get in touch with a couple of people. So this.
We deleting motherfuckers.
Oh yeah. What's up, y'all? I'm trying to figure out. So it says here Marcus tried to give, and it says go into the man's backyard. So I guess I should try and do that. Even though there's dangerous poison. Marcus tried to give. I see. Huh? Hello. Greetings. Marcus tried to give. What could it mean? What could it mean? Seriously, what does it want me to do? What does it want me to do? This is a whole new level of challenge. I mean, this game's kind of weird. Some of the instructions are a little unclear. Wait, what? So there's the package. Huh? I'm so confused. What the fuck did this mission want me to do? It just says it happened. Like, what? Huh? It happened.
This is Jose Alvarez speaking. I'm in the fumigation business, and I'm looking to buy an airtight tent. I checked your homepage and was just wondering if you have anything that's not multicolored, something with some skulls on it, maybe, you know? I don't want any kids sneaking in there because I think it's a
I'm a witcher who only kills mean ladies.
Sure,
Call me the Beecher.
Bye.
I'm a witcher who only kills water jugs. Call me the Pitcher. I'm a witcher who only kills people with skin rashes. Call me the Itcher.
Nice.
Hey, Two Dog. I'm Johnny Utah. My mission speciality is UD jobs. I love having a UD and sharing my UD.
Do I need to talk to this guy? Nope. I'm like mortally confused by this mission.
You know the exterminator guy who's working on
Marcus tried to give. What did he try to
I put
give?
my cum on her face, ... I call that a play date.
Shake your UD. Shake your UD. Baby.
Your UTI? Like your UTI? Yo, no. Mixture pesticides. What? Alright, I'm breaking into the shed. I need to figure out what's going on. Pick up prosecution.
Janus is apparently engaged in a civil lawsuit with another resident of Whittleton Creek. James Batty, the plaintiff, wants Janus to stop his annual landing of a helicopter near the local creek.
But that's so dope.
The lawsuit also mentions Nolan Cassidy and his unlawful
I'm
surveillance
a
around
UTI
town.
cutie.
Aw.
So Janus takes a helicopter trip.
Aw, Chatter, you have the most adorable urinary tract
We're onto
infection.
something here, 47. 47? I think it would be beneficial to locate the unlawful surveillance mentioned in the lawsuit. Perhaps Nolan Cassidy's house would be a good place to start.
Dude. Something in scaffolding. That sounds so fun. Which cannot be changed. Wait, what happened with the package? Why are they freaking the fuck out? Huh? I don't know what he was about to do. Did he give him, like, rattlesnake eggs? Breaking into Cassidy's house. Okay. Yeah, it's probably gonna kill him if I knock him into the water right there. I'm not trying to do that.
Rattlesnake eggs. Yummers.
We've all been handed a trick package full of rattlesnake eggs before, right? Your dads did that to you too, right? That was normal, right? It was normal for your dad to scare the shit out of you like that, right? The spring-loaded mechanism inside of a fake envelope. It's normal, right? Didn't do that to you as a child. I'm in. I should save. Include dynamo!
Search sentences 1 of 3. The 13th of November check mark emoji.
Yummers, yummers, yummers.
We get it. Yummers.
Zesty.
Give me one more yummers
Recording of
for
some
old
sort.
time's sake.
The note mentions
Yummers.
another house. Perhaps Cassidy is using one of the vacant buildings as a base.
Damn, that's a big slice of pizza. Oh my god. Shit happens, you know?
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
I was hoping he'd notice. Like, is this guy awake? We love Zesty.
That's some saggy pepperoni.
They put pepperoni slices the size of nipples on that pizza.
What kind of nipples you be looking at? What the fuck? Bignipples.com or something?
A recording of some sort. The note mentions another house. Perhaps Cassidy is using one of the vacant buildings as a base of operations, 47. A letter from Janus to someone called Zoe. It looks like a draft,
Zoe,
and it's
you
full of
say?
explicit descriptions of how unhappy Janus is with Zoe and his sister having
Explicit.
been appointed chairwomen of the Ark Society.
He's drawing little dicks all over it.
I've heard that name before. This is a good find, 47.
Drew a bunch of turds all over this legal letter like an immature little sicko. Okay, just go for it. No one cares, remember? Everyone be looking at their phone. Playing
Big
Candy
nips,
Crush.
Only the best and biggest around. Nipples so big you look at them and wonder where the normal skin is. I'm talking huge nips. 80% or more of the chest is nipple.
Jesus.
Fuckers looking like burn victims' yummers.
Oh my god.
Yes, I understand. You tried to reach me earlier. Ah, there you are, my boy. Yes, well, it's about the chairman's seat. I understand Frederick was overlooked despite my recommendations. I would appreciate an explanation of the reasoning behind the decision. Well, it's a long and rather complicated discussion to undertake over the phone. Your request was put in.
I've only seen pepperoni nipples like that on a succubus. Meaty ass nips.
Oh my, yummers.
I need to be looking out for pepperoni nippled succubi.
Robbers of the past, focusing on glory and wealth and outlandish futuristic dealings rather than conservation. They are not representative of what the society was built for. I understand your concern. Rest assured, I will be watching them closely. Very well. It seems we have a lot to discuss when we meet soon. Agreed.
And a lot of chips to eat.
That's the
Or
last
not.
piece of the puzzle found, 47.
They need to finish their
While we
fucking
didn't end up
chips,
with the
dude.
names or locations of
They
the
just
province
crack open these
parties as
bags and just leave them everywhere. It's
This at least
wasteful.
gives us a clear bead on the constant. We can expect to find him at the annual gathering of the Ark Society in November. It should be enough. Excellent. This confirms that Janus and the Constant will meet up soon. I don't think we'll be able to identify the partners today, but this is very useful. The tape doesn't specify where that meeting will take place, however. We need that final bit, 47. So, we know that Janus is expecting to leave Whittleton Creek via helicopter, and that he's going to meet the Constant at some event. I think it's time to look inside Janus's house for more clues.
Look inside Janus's house for clues. Okay. The house is for sale.
I'm sorry for what is about to be said. This is a scientific investigation.
Janus is meeting with a constant at an event
Who
related
up
to the
squirting
Ark
milk
Society.
out they booty
And
nips?
we have an approximate date as well. I think that's all we're going to get.
We're close to the finish line.
Stale, dusty corn snacks.
It's time to end
Yummers. Yummers. Yum, yum, yummy, yum, yummers. Look in sued anuses for clues.
Huh? Huh? What?
Hola, señor.
Hola. Mi amo es Egante. Forgot the numbers in Spanish. But hey, I'm here.
I have to tell you, these are the best muffins I ever had. I'm supposed to meet a client for a house showing today, but I can't stop eating. Maybe you know him, Mr. Nolan Cassidy?
Can't say that I do.
Well, he's interested in the Schmidt house down the road. You know, the one the police shut down after the, well, incident?
I'm not really from around here, senor. I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about the incident, ma'am?
Never mind. He can wait a little
All
longer.
right.
I need to squeeze a couple more of these beauties down.
This dude loves these fucking muffins.
Hola,
That's
senor.
great.
Feel free to taste one of our sample muffins. Ellen's muffins are the best in town, and they're free every Saturday.
Yeah, just let me walk behind you. Don't worry about it.
Who is breaking stuff?
Como se dice prolapse en español?
Prolapse now. And now. Prolapse now.
Okay.
I just live in the bush, ma'am. Don't fucking worry about it anymore, okay?
Ah, yes. I just love to clean up other people's mess.
Off.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm the Muffin Man. I'm the Muffin Man. I gotta go take a piss break, folks. See ya. Sorry, no muffins for a little bit. I gotta go run over here. Dude, weed. Dude, weed, lol. Bush living? Me too, bestie? Dude, cannabis components? I'm not trespassing, so I guess everyone in the neighborhood can just, we have the mouse vomits poison. This is a very useful tool. To use poison feeling weak. Dude, weed, dude. Nice. Dude, this dude got the fucking vape. He's got the oil pen.
Weed daddy. Yum me me ummy ummy.
What is that? Got that vape fume. Oh, dude, it's empty, bro. Bro, you burnt my fucking coil, dude. I don't know anything about anything, but did you know that the mouthpieces to these things are 14 millimeters, and if you press them down into something that's compatible with a 14 millimeter thing, they attach pretty well if you press it down in there and hold it upside down a little bit. Damn, this dude loves cigarettes. So thumbnail. I love the weed room. I just love the weed. This weed was bad. It had to be put in the cage. It tried to come out at night and take revenge. Go Portland Comets! Alright, muffin time. Time to carefully place cakes on plate. Food preparation hole. Right.
Yep, making good progress. Great progress. That place will be sold in no time. All right.
Pretend you are a real estate agent.
Odd.
No, it's normal. Bro, he goes hard for the muffins. Dude, it's stank muffin. Don't eat the stank muffin, bro. No, dude.
It's common for a muffin man or muffin men to sneak into your house in the wee hours of the morning to steal all your weed and cigarette butts.
Did he... Excuse me? Dude, little German boy ate the stankin' muffin and fucking went back for seconds. What's going on? He powered through it, dude. God damn, the...
No, I don't feel safe.
He's like, now I'll throw up.
No.
Oh.
Something's wrong with the muffins now. The muffins are bad. They were good. Actually, I feel bad for her. I'll grab her a muffin, like a normal one. Here you go. Enjoy, ma'am. She just wants to talk about muffins.
By Jove! This is nearly enough poison to kill me. Better eat more to finish the job.
Can you bean someone with a muffin?
Yes, you can. They don't get knocked out, though. They just, like, fall over, and they're like, what the fuck? Who just threw a muffin at my head? I don't know why they fall down. It's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, of course it's more work. Down and clean the floor. Guys, gotta be aware of everyone that's
You don't want them to asphyxiate, so you let them throw up for 30 minutes straight. I hope y'all ready to sell some real estate.
What a polite man. Coming all this way to find a bin to explode out both ends of his body.
He stuffs himself in the trash can.
If a stranger put their muffin in my face, I fall head over heels too.
Yeah, true. Hit me with the muffin.
Hey, how are you?
Full of illegal weapons. One moment, sir. Down, 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 down. Wow, 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 wow. The camera's still working? No. That could have been really bad. I don't know why I did that. Woo! Just to feel the rush. Dude, dedicated ass real estate agent, I must say. I gotta dump. Hold on. That guard pats me down and finds a fucking joint after I come out of their garage.
Sir, I will have to check you if you want to pass, okay?
Frisk me, baby!
This'll just take a sec, sir.
IRL T-posing,
More like
baby.
fake estate agent.
Aren't you the realtor? I've been waiting hours for
All right. Good job, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, man, I had a muffin moment. You wouldn't
Mr.
understand.
Cassidy, I'm sorry for the delay. I'm ready to take you to the house.
About time. Let's go. You know which one it is, right? Last one on the right, far end of the road.
Yeah. Come on. Since you're gonna be a dick about my muffin moment and not care and not have empathy about my connection and fucking finding some of the best food that I've ever experienced in my whole life, which is nearby you, by the way, which you should go check out. Yo, go check out the muffins if you're hungry. You gotta get some muffins. They're giving out free samples. They're so good. They're so good. They're so good.
Presentation in order. I don't want this to be a waste of time. You understand me?
Yes.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
Go,
This place for some time.
You
I
will.
trust we can make a quick execution here.
Of course, Mr.
A
Cassidy.
quick execution. Haha, that's funny. 'Cause I'm gonna kill. So this is where you can have pussy.
Finally, I've had my eye on this place for quite some time. Let's see what sort of secrets she holds.
We got food over there. It's stale. Be relaxation
This is the
area.
downstairs living room.
Go low,
It is
go
most
well,
commonly
go well.
used for watching
Go low.
television and other recreational purposes. Large room with 2 easy-to-get-to exits. Dark floors hide stains easily. A room with lots of potential.
Interesting, I suppose, but not really something that seals the deal for me.
This is the downstairs living room.
Not this again.
It is most
Show me
commonly used
something
for
else,
watching
all right?
television. This is the downstairs bathroom. Useful when cleaning off after a messy day of work.
That's all fine. Is there more to this house, though?
Assholes, dude. I hate these guys.
This is the downstairs living room. But it can suck you off. We got a deal.
The kitchen.
We got a deal.
Gas stove. Vinyl floors, which can be quite slippery when wet. Along with the bathroom, the kitchen is the most dangerous room in the home.
I don't know. I'm not really feeling it in here. What else can you show me?
Oh, he's not happy. Better show him the downstairs bathroom again.
Yeah. Garage.
Your standard garage. Spacious enough for someone to set up a gym or training area. With some added soundproofing, an enterprising individual could use this for many things.
I don't know.
Many,
You got
many
anything more interesting to
things.
show me? It's all very
Any.
familiar.
Anything. I'm really excited to show you the rest. Whip your meat out. What, to make them happy?
They call him 47 because his anus is 47 inches long.
Damn, that's a long anus.
This is the garden area. Manageable size, well-placed shrubbery, useful for hiding yourself or other things. Tree house, which affords an excellent overview of the adjoining gardens. And look at all those lawn lamps. Good thing it hasn't been raining.
What about storage possibilities? Anything of that nature you could show me?
Storage, huh? You're gonna love this. You're gonna love the storage. I have keys, right? Put stuff in here.
And here's the basement. The usual boiler elements are to be found down here. And it seems a room with a safe of some sort.
Now that is more like it. That looks just like a vault.
This is my 47-inch long anus. I can store so many balls in it.
Nice work, 47.
Yes,
Let's hope he doesn't set off the alarm somehow.
This I can use. Very nice indeed. Frank, go outside and check the garden. I want to know how visible this vault is from the outside. Anything sticking out of the ground, weird sloping things like that.
You got it, sir.
So you're looking to sell this for, how much was it again? 1.1?
Sounds about right.
I suppose that's not unreasonable. And this vault unit looks quite versatile. Internal climate control and explosive laser security.
All the comforts of home.
Yes, quite interesting. And a nice looking safe in here too. Any idea? No, don't turn it!
Nolan Cassidy is down. Good work, 47.
Holy shit.
James awaits your attention.
Dude, he fucking blew up and died, dude. Damn. He fucking blew up and died. Let's roll that back. I want to show him more of the house. I was
I can
enjoying
go down
that.
on any monster that plagues this world. They call me the Liquor.
Is that so? Hello? Hello, the Liquor. I'm going to add a couple decibels of gain. Just because I feel the game's a little quiet. Okay. Let's bore him. Wait, this might be interesting. Let's not go down there yet. Unlocks it just to piss him off. Oh, I could have put a muffin there and been like, hey, would you like a muffin? Yeah, they used to have a bunch of crazy porn and hentai up here on the walls, but they took it down before they made me sell it.
This is the upstairs hallway.
Decide to sell.
It connects all the rooms up here. Add a few closets or a large box in a corner, and the room's practical value becomes apparent.
Yeah, that's not gonna make me buy this place. Let's move on.
Detailed introduction. Let's bore the tits off this
A
guy.
spare bedroom, in case you have a lot of house guests. It could also be used as an upstairs office, or a storage space with easy access to the attic above.
That's all fine. Is there more to this house, though?
The attic above.
A spare bedroom, in case you have a lot of house
I know.
guests.
I know. Dude, the laundry room, you're not going to believe it. An in-unit laundry room and bathroom shower.
Here we have the master bathroom.
Oh God, excuse me.
Shower, toilet, double sinks. Perfect
The
for
weed
the
garage
busy
killed me.
couple, and large enough to allow for privacy, even when occupied by two people at the same time.
Interesting, I suppose, but not really something that seals the deal for me.
Follow along. I'm dying.
Master
Yet
bathroom.
another room up here.
More like master bake room.
I suppose you could use it as an office, recreational room of some sort. Maybe a place to store your memorabilia.
I don't know. Got anything more interesting to show me? It's all very familiar.
B,
What did
he's
he
learned
say?
his lessons.
Seal my D hole? Okay, I guess bro.
Whatever you want. Did we already look in here? Does that key not work here? Why? I gotta lead him over here and then run. Or something. No? What the fuck was that?
Go find out what that was.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh god.
Clear.
Yeah. Look away.
Understood.
Good. No! What the
Hold
fuck?
on a minute.
He knew.
I'm out of D glue. So I'll just tie a knot in my schlong, like a balloon animal.
As you should. I gotta rush up there and unlock that door. Oh god, they're running up here too. Quick. No, they're not. Anyways. This is this room.
This is the upstairs hallway. It connects all the rooms up here. Add a few closets or a large box in a corner, and the room's practical.
He's not even looking at it.
Becomes apparent.
I don't know. I'm not really feeling it in here. What else can you show me?
In
It
here,
looks like
bro.
something violent took place here.
Yo.
The previous owner seems to have been connected with Janus somehow.
What
The police
happened in
report
here?
mentions
Someone
they found him
bled
here
out
in a pool
here.
of blood. The
Looks
house
like
has been
a
sealed off
sudden
until a few weeks ago.
hemorrhaging.
Death was
Blood
ruled
pouring
as a
from the
severe
mouth
allergic
and
reaction.
nose. Possible vomiting of blood. Distance between the pools indicates the person was conscious at first, but severely shocked. Handprint on the wall corroborates this.
Jesus, man.
The person lost consciousness after
Janus.
20 to 30 seconds.
Hugh Janus?
Probably bled out
Holy
in a matter
fuck.
of minutes. There's a strong chance this
Jesus
was caused by
fucking
a
Christ.
severe allergic reaction or a straight poisoning of some sort.
That's a very detailed description.
My
Did you read the police report or something?
I dabble in forensic investigation, among other things.
I see. Well, let's get the hell out of here.
But I haven't showed you the closet yet. Yeah, someone bled out here. Someone bled out here and hemorrhaged and vomited blood and pissed blood and shit blood in here. And it was bad. Bee-worm. Bee-worm. Can I make that bigger? Hold on.
Among those earthings.
What the fuck am I looking at? Hold on. Yeah, streamer mode. There we go.
This is the upstairs hallway.
Yeah,
Should have had that on before.
Connects all
Let's
the
move
rooms
on.
up. This is the upstairs hallway.
Again?
It connects
Show
all
me
the
another
rooms
room,
up here.
all right? I do not have the time or the patience for this. I'll tell you what. I'll wait by the front door for a little bit.
Worm.
Back off! I do not have the time or the patience for this. I'll tell you what. I'll wait by the front door for a little bit, but don't goof around too long. I'm not a patient man.
What did I say to him? What? What happened, man? I thought we were cool. I thought we were cool. Dang it, I thought we were cool, man. Wait, so he thinks I'm fooling around, I gotta talk to him again? Damn it, just auto-saved. I'm sorry.
I'm ready to show you the house again.
Finally.
I don't know what I said to him to cause this reaction. B-worm. You here now.
Yet another room up here. I suppose you could use it as an office or recreational room of some sort.
No one vomited
Maybe
blood
a
out
place
of their
to store
nipples
your
here.
memorabilia.
What about storage possibilities? Anything of that nature you could show me?
Did I show you the bathroom?
Here we have the master bathroom. Shower, toilet, double sinks. Perfect for the busy couple, and large enough to allow for privacy, even when occupied by two people at the same time.
That's all fine. Is there more to this house, though?
Laundry. Be secretly. What does that mean? Is this the room someone fucking bled out in? No. Did I tell you about this room, though?
A spare bedroom, in case you have a lot of house guests. It could also be used as an upstairs office, or a storage space.
I'm trying to confuse him and make the house is bigger than it actually is,
That's
so
not
he'll
gonna
give me
make
more
buy
money.
this place. Let's move on.
And here's the TV where you can watch Zorn. B-worm. B-worm. What have I not shown him, though?
This is the downstairs living room.
Not this again.
It is most
Show me
commonly used
something
for
else,
watching television. The kitchen.
Yeah,
Gas
you said that
stove.
already.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Second guest bedroom. It's in the same place as the first guest bedroom, but we've gone through 5 doors, so you are confused.
You are now confused. Can I be like, hey, check out this side of the house? Oh god, there's a lawnmower there. There's a lot you could do with a lawnmower.
This is the garden area. Manageable size, well-placed shrubbery, useful for hiding yourself or other things. Treehouse, which affords an excellent overview of the adjoining gardens. And look at all those lawn lamps. Good thing it hasn't been raining.
Interesting, I suppose, but not really something that seals the deal for me.
Okay. Alright, alright, alright. I didn't show him this room. You can shit in here. Did I? I don't know. I'll try. Yes, sir.
This is the downstairs bathroom.
I know. You said that already.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is the stairwell. This is the stairwell.
This is all very interesting, but where's the real magic? You know, a hidden bunker, a mysterious room, moving bookcases.
And here's the basement. The usual boiler elements are to be found down here.
This is a European-style
And it
bathroom,
seems
so you
a
piss and
room.
shit in the bath
Safe
and
of
drink
some
out of the
sort.
Now
toilet.
that is more
This
like
is
it.
awkward.
That looks just like a vault. This is very interesting.
There's one more I can do?
Trust me, buddy, you don't want to provoke me.
Dude, chill.
Nice work,
Yes,
47.
this is
Let's
more
hope he
like
doesn't set off the alarm somehow.
Very nice indeed.
Attic, maybe? Like he'll follow me up there?
Frank, go outside and check the garden. I want to know how visible this vault is from the outside. Anything sticking out of the ground, weird sloping things like that.
You got it, sir.
So you're looking to sell this for, how much was it again? 1.1?
Sounds about
It's like he starts talking money.
That's not unreasonable.
So I assume it's kind of
This vault
over on the,
unit looks quite versatile.
showing him
Internal
stuff.
climate control and explosive laser security.
All the comforts of home.
Yes. Quite interesting. And a nice looking safe in here, too. Any idea what the previous owner was using this for?
Bro, you bumped in. You bumped into me, asshole! Anyways.
Yes. Quite interesting. And a nice looking safe in here, too. Any idea what the previous owner was using this for?
No idea. Maybe a mausoleum.
Huh. That's weird. But I think I can come up with some good uses for it. All right. I think I've seen enough.
But.
All right. I'm happy. Tell your firm I'll buy the house at the listed price. Cash. Have your people draw up the documents at once.
Very well, Mr. Cassidy.
Excellent. Good day to you.
Crunch.
Nolan Cassidy is down.
Yeah, let's try to take him up to the attic. I just kind of assumed. Maybe not, but we'll see. Wait, hold on. Is he gonna go, yeah, I've heard that already, to the garage? On this save? It gets confusing.
The kitchen. Gas
Not
stove.
this again.
Come here,
Show me
dude.
something
Vinyl
else, all
floors.
right? I do not have the time
Oh,
or the
don't
patience
start.
for this. I'll tell you what. I'll wait by the front door for a little bit, but don't goof around too long. I'm not a...
Look at that guy. He's starting.
Nolan Cassidy is down.
His neck just exploded like that. Don't worry about it. It's normal. Maybe the... Can he not see this from here? Do I need to explicate? No, that's B Park. Follow me, sir. He's getting his workout today. Yeah, hurry it up. Yeah, hurry it up. Yeah. Maybe like the patio. But I feel like the patio area is like where you try to like end the conversation, so I'm gonna try the attic first. So here.
The attic.
You're right.
Not too much to
You're
say
right.
about it. It's small, tends to be prone to a leaky roof, and likely houses various types of molds.
What are you talking about? I don't care about some leaky attic. Get down here.
The attic. Not too much to say
Again?
about it. It's
Show me
small,
another room,
tends to
all
be
right?
prone.
This area was built during the Cold War. Isn't there a bunker or something like that nearby? Basement, maybe?
Bunker. Yeah, you wanted to see the fucking bunker? You should have asked, bro. I thought you were like a fan of like good eats and like the cooking channel and shit. Thought that was your thing. So I kept showing you the kitchen and then places to poop all the food out, but you kept saying no, stop showing me that, I'm bored. I was really confused, and it hurt my feelings. That's why I gotta kill you now.
Nice work, 47. Let's hope he doesn't set off the alarm.
Here's the motherfucking...
Very nice indeed.
Did I get it? It said that I got it. I'm like 99% sure I just did. Uh-huh. Aha, got it. Alright, how haven't I killed this man yet? I am a narrator. Death. It can be treated by the river during the time covered by the recommendations. Alright. Eliminate Janice and sticky syrup. Time of tea in the afternoon. Death. Death in the area. The explosion makes Worm Holo, who was killed. This is the teacher's restaurant. Nolan Cassidy from Wilson's bathroom after receiving the poison. Use pest control to remove the affected blackcurrant. Remove the target from its power source, Wheaton Creek. Blend the target into the water to lead. Can I make him sick? I don't think I have anything to make him sick.
Frank, go outside.
If there
and
were
check
any,
the
it'd
garden.
be here.
I want to know how visible this vault is from the outside. Anything sticking out of the ground, weird sloping things like that.
You got it, sir.
So you're looking to sell this for, how much was it again?
Granddad,
1.1?
I am
Sounds
Wormholo.
about right.
I am
suppose that's
old.
not
I
unreasonable.
am killed.
And his vault unit looks quite versatile. Internal climate control and explosive laser security.
All the comforts of home.
I can't believe Agent 47. He's gonna do all this shit just to put like rat poison in a muffin to get this guy.
No idea.
After all this shit.
Maybe a mausoleum.
He's like, by the way, have a muffin.
But I think I can come
And
up with some good
that's
uses
his
for it.
downfall. That's what
All right, I
unravels
think I've
him.
seen enough.
$1 million.
All right, I'm happy.
$1
Tell your
million.
firm I'll buy the house at the listed price. Cash.
$1
Have your people
million.
draw up the documents at once.
Very well, Mr. Cassidy.
Excellent.
They print them, they
Good
don't
day
draw
to you.
them, sir, but sure. Whatever you need. Wormholo. I'm at the party again.
So how you been? Beautiful.
Your house looks like shit. Mine looks like shit. All of our houses look like shit. What do we do? Girl, our houses look like fucking garbage. What the fuck do we do?
No, you're not getting in here.
I wasn't even trying to get in. I wasn't even trying. You talk. Get my swagger back. Grab some muffins. 3 muffins for the taking. You just gotta take them. What's next on the docket? Fireplace. This dish is great. The Wilson family organizes a barbecue to which everyone is invited. Also, it seems that Nolan Cassidy attended the ceremony, but for some reason he did not want to go. Maybe you can solve this problem for me, 47. I mean, I can try. buy sodium propanediol? I mean, I can try.
Hi. Whatever.
Bitch, shut up. I don't give a fuck. I'm bald. I'm living my life. Okay, you got a job interview Sunday. I gotta go. That's it.
She just got her 5th scholarship. I told her not to worry about the money.
Sodium propanediol. Wait, does that mean propane?
I'm trying to stop. You know,
Well, I can't really buy it, but sure. Take it. Connect sodium propanediol tank to the grill. I look ridiculous right now. Whoop.
Richard, you are such a fool! How could you forget the guy doing?
I gotcha.
Wow, look at that.
Easy.
It's good to know the kind that helped people still exist. Guess I have to start flipping burgers now.
Greetings, sir.
So glad you about it.
Alright, he's cooking burgers.
Hey, Chew, I've got an impromptu audio question.
What's up, Joe Biden?
I like your suit.
What term would I look for to make something sound like it's in the distance? Maybe proximity effects. Spatial effects. Proximity, spatial, words like that. But I don't think there's like any one particular term. You're welcome. I'm gonna crack open my window. My room's hot. It's fucking hot. My pants off over here. All right. Sweaty 47. Attenuation. Do you think that Yoshi gets embarrassed when he poos out eggs in front of Mario? Sorry if this offends anyone, but I thought it was a funny thing, haha. And I would like to know if any of you have any pics of Yoshi pooing an egg while he looks nervous or embarrassed. I just want to see it for a few laughs, haha. Another thing I'm wondering is, what do you think the eggs smell like? Haha. I'm just curious for laughs, haha. I would like to smell them. Alright, so they just have this in their house. Let's fucking... I'm getting out of here as fast as possible. Chat, is that... That kind of looks like me. Chat, do they know? Man, there's some fucking weirdos in this house. That's... Oh. Freaking weirdos.
Oh, hi. I'm on my way out. Bye.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I need some rat poison. Pills, pills, pills. Greetings, sir and ma'am. I need some rat poison. Where is some rat poison? Is it up? Not down? Oh, they got one of those nice wine cellars. Can age wine for 4,000 years until it turns into a sauce. Beautiful. Where they got rat poison? Oh, it's probably in the garage. Duh. Enjoy the plague. Alright. That's a good mission objective.
She just clocked her 15th hour of dual flight instructor.
Fine. Look, slipping me left or right here.
I'm being on foot.
People, all right?
All right, folks. The food is ready.
Woo! La cocina.
Hi. You want to try something different?
Hey.
Yeah, eat some.
Well, looks
You're
pretty busy
welcome.
here.
That's how I
I'll
eat
just
too,
wait my
girl.
turn instead of trying to squeeze in.
Psst. Wrap your lips around this.
Huh?
Wrap your lips around this.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy.
You know?
So
Maybe
true.
ever a local news presenter, maybe? Weather? Sports? Well, maybe. But you have to admit, the original replaced. Tis the gorgeous
I'm gonna go check his progress. Swirly. Whoa. That dude could have seen everything.
Nolan Cassidy is down. Good work, 47.
I drowned
James
him.
awaits your attention.
This is the teacher's restaurant. So true. Now we need to delete Janice. Apparently. That's what it says. They are sources of medicine and food. Toss his body out the window. I was tempted to beat the mole.
Hey, brah.
Hey, brah. Bumps into your wife. Hey, brah. I gotta get these muffins to the people. Do you know the most dedicated Muffin Man?
Listen, I swear I have a license for it. I just don't bring it with me. You can't just confiscate my property. I need it to get rid
You
of
can't just confiscate my property.
in this poor old man's backyard.
Calm down, Demolition Man.
Backyard.
Flesh-eating mutant mole,
Up on the
you
roof.
don't need explosives.
One of Janus's gardeners has decided to clear a series of
Male
mole
voice?
tunnels using explosives. I applaud his enthusiasm, but sadly, local police have confiscated his equipment. If you were to find it, 47, it might be the perfect way to rid the world of Janus.
Okay.
We're gonna keep them safe in our trunk until you produce that license, okay?
Ah, come on, man. It's standard procedure. You stuff the holes, and then you blow up the tunnel system so it collapses. Look it up on YouTube.
Sir, if the American police force looked to YouTube as guiding principle for standard procedure, I'm pretty sure civilization would have collapsed a long time ago.
God damn it.
All around me are familiar faces. Come to the bush now. Come to the bush, pal. Oh, he's going over to his truck. Sweet. Contact slots, son. Do you know the Muffin Man?
Damn donut-eating dorks. Oh, sure, if you play around a little with some fertilizer, propane, and gas...
Wow. Wow. Easy. Easy work. This guy's. Buy dynamite from the product group. Where's the product group? Ah, yes, the product group. I thought he had a fish in his back pocket. What's wrong with me?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't let you through, okay?
Okay, okay.
Please leave the area.
I understand. I'm in. Oh, I don't purchase it from them. I steal it. Right. Makes sense. Oh, they can see that shit. Holster it, bro. They see it and they care. They see it and they care. That's the worst. These guys know. They know that I'm not one of them. You don't see anything. Shut up. Ask for directions. Oh. But, okay. Hey man, I just came out of the bush, but...
I understand you have a
request leadership.
Oh, you're a godsend. Let's get straight to it. The sooner this is fixed, the sooner I won't have to listen to Mr. Janus's complaints. Follow me.
Yeah, me and my fish in my back pocket will help. As soon as that guy goes away. Thank you.
As you can see, we have a mole issue. Now, I know a permanent solution might take some time, but if you could just fill the holes by the end of the day, that'd be great. Come find me when you're done.
Close the wormhole. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't take much to fuck up a dynamite operation, TBH. You can lay a wet blanket over some of this shit and it'd fuck everything up. Request the 140 explosion. No, not yet. Not yet. We can put muffins in the holes.
Garden is looking fresh.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I put a wrench in one of them? Like, literally, you probably could. What's that? Mixture gardeners. Oh, blend in as. Right. Makes sense. Yep.
Hey, Gio. I heard you were a fan of my films. It's always a pleasure to know people love my work. Oh, wait. Yeah. I almost forgot to introduce myself. I'm Neil Breen.
Oh,
Would
hi.
you want to start as a corpse on my next thriller? I'm sure you'd do an amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let me in. I want to be a corpse. Yeah. They closed the final wormhole.
Janus, Cold War spy master and the first Providence
Hey,
poster.
Fort. What's up, sis?
I wonder how much he remembers. How little he cares.
So I supposed to blow him up right there?
Asterisk pulls Al blunt object asterisk. So this is called method acting.
100 grenade launchers. They closed the final wormhole?
Are you telling me a blunt killed that dog?
You know, I feel like blunts almost killed me. Back in the day. Back in the day. Oh yeah, there's one final hole that we must plug. Put a muffin in it. Easy. Oh, it's that guy. That guy's a jerk. He doesn't want us to be here. Whoop! They closed the final wormhole. I closed the final wormhole.
What was I supposed to do again?
Fill the
Excuse me?
holes. I don't care how you do it. Come back to me when you're done.
I'm done. Right? Ah! Tell the guards that the mission is over.
I'm done.
Great. Let me have a quick look.
Yeah. I should save. I should conserve, rather.
A bit unorthodox, maybe, but you got the job done. Let me get Mr. Janus so we can inspect it for himself.
Janus.
Hey, tell Mr. Janus the molehills have been fixed.
All right. Janus should be here to inspect the work
So,
soon, 47.
Just to warn you, I'm sure this whole inspection's gonna remind Janus about something exciting from his past.
I've become
I'm sure
corrupted
that
by
he's
the
gonna tell us all
internet.
about it.
Every time I see a picture where a woman has her feet visible, I scream in
along.
my head.
Better yet, keep your
For
distance.
free?
Yeah, they should add more foot-based missions to this game. He said, feel free to just leave if this guy starts talking about the Cold War. It gets messy, you know, old people syndrome. Okay, yeah, I get you, bro. I'm gonna just head out. Quote unquote. Dude, we're gonna blow everybody over there sky high. It's gonna be fucked up.
The embarrassing part was it was my own feet. Doll feet. For free.
For free. Come on, you old coot. Get your ass out here.
Mr. Janus.
I'm gonna save again just in case. Just in case. Wait, let me take out 100 grenade launchers.
Yes, Mr. Janus. Gardner took a bit of an unorthodox approach, but they do look filled to me.
Well, I think I'll be the judge of that myself. Thank you very much. Good. American moles are the worst. Thankfully, in this case, we can skip the interrogation part and go straight to the execution.
Oops. I'm glad I saved. That doesn't kill the old man. That just scared the fuck out of him. Maybe that would kill him. But I need to see him fly.
The holes are filled, huh?
Yes, Mr. Janus. Gardner took a bit of an unorthodox approach, but They do look filled to me.
Well, I think
Neil
I'll be the
Breen
judge of
directed
that
this
myself.
assassination.
Thank you very much.
Yes. They should get him to, like, work on this game.
Beautiful work. The pests will soon be gone, and then I can get back to planting my vegetables.
$100 grenade launchers.
Woo! At last, the actions of the first constant catch up with him.
Oh God,
Death
it's
feels
bad.
like an easy way out for a man like Jonas.
For your own safety, do you understand?
Still,
Why are they freaking out? Stop looking at me. Stop. We gotta get out of here.
What about blue? Just a bit desaturated, so I guess...
Just a little desaturated blue. Here I go. I finally get to leave. Oh joy. Oh boy. Oh joy. Oh, I finally get to leave. Which is good because my butt's falling asleep.
Radiohead? That's an offer? This whole time? Over.
Oh yeah. Radiohead? Over the radio? Beautiful mission names. Problems. 35,000 use. Comprehensive experience. Press everyone to contain. Good shit. Okay, I can bring muffins, a baseball, bring medicine. I store it, collection at the merchant.
Do you wonder if the Beach Boys ever explored each other's bodies? Or ever got sand in their butt? Those silly boys.
Bodies. Bodies. The garbage removal process begins.
I love me a girl with bodies.
She says that's so weird. Bodies. She's so zesty with it.
the Ark Society. One of Providence's
We're
more
gonna go to the
obscure
DDR.
outfits.
The DDR.
I've heard whispers. A
But that will
survivalist
be
club for the global elite.
for another time. Because I'm tired. I'm tired. That was my Agent 47 time. That was my murder time. My
Let the
manslaughter
bodice
Monday.
hit the floor. Let the bodice hit the floor.
Bodice. It's like she's saying bodice. But chat, that was a good stream. We got some more good progress on the Hitman. I'm proud of us. I think we did real good. And yeah, I'm gonna cut it off here. Thank you everyone who watched. And yeah.
Goodbye, Chode. Don't forget you have a nice bodice.
Oh, thank you. I'll have to show off my bodice more. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, y'all. I'll probably stream tomorrow as well. And yeah, have a good night. See you, sis. Pet, 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 pet. Okay, bye.